Before she became the fan-favorite character audiences know and love in The Mandalorian, Bo-Katan Kryze almost met a gruesome end identical to Jango Fett's from the prequel trilogy. Bo-Katan has taken on an increasingly important role in Star Wars of late. Although she debuted in animation in Star Wars, The Clone Wars, Bo-Katan made the jump to live action in The Mandalorian and then appeared in the Book of Boba Fett as well. In all likelihood, Bo-Katan's appearances in Star Wars movies and TV shows also aren't over yet. Her character has undergone quite a transformation over the years as well. When Bo-Katan was introduced in The Clone Wars, she seemed more like a villain, or, at least, an antagonist, than the Mandalorian hero she is largely seen as today. Because of that rough origin story, Bo-Katan's life almost ended in the same way Jango Fett's did in Star Wars, Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. Ahsoka Tano nearly decapitated Bo-Katan Kryze. Bo-Katan almost died exactly the way Jango Fett did. Bo-Katan and Ahsoka Tano part ways in The Clone Wars. When she was introduced in The Clone Wars, Bo-Katan was part of Death Watch, a Mandalorian terrorist group. The episode in which Ahsoka Tano and Bo-Katan first meet, Season 4, Episode 14, A Friend in Need, disturbingly sees Death Watch terrorizing and burning down a village. Because of that vile behavior, Ahsoka goes on the attack against Death Watch to defend the villagers. Although she is briefly captured, Ahsoka does an incredible spin maneuver with her two lightsabers, decapitating several Mandalorians surrounding her. Luckily, Bo-Katan was not one of the Mandalorians standing around Ahsoka at that time, but she very nearly met the same fate Jango Fett did in Attack of the Clones when he was decapitated by Mace Windu. In fact, immediately after Ahsoka makes this move, it is Bo-Katan who runs up to Ahsoka, ready to strike, when Pre Vizsla stops her. Looking back at all that has transpired in Ahsoka's Star Wars timeline and in Bo-Katan's story since, it's shocking to remember that these two beloved characters were once engaged in something so violent. Ahsoka and Bo-Katan have both come a long way. Both characters' arcs have been incredible to see. Both Ahsoka and Bo-Katan have changed massively since that episode of The Clone Wars. Bo-Katan left Death Watch and has since become a major player in The Mandalorian, helping Din Djarin and Grogu at various points and even taking up the throne of Mandalore in The Mandalorian Season 3 ending. Ahsoka has likewise grown considerably since this confrontation with the Mandalorians, most recently becoming Ahsoka the White in the Ahsoka show. Undoubtedly, Bo-Katan would no longer participate in the destruction of a village the way that she did in The Clone Wars, and Ahsoka likely wouldn't be so quick to kill a group of Mandalorians, either. Of course, that was wartime, and much has changed for the larger galaxy since then as well. Luckily, Bo-Katan Kryze wasn't decapitated by Ahsoka Tano in this Clone Wars episode, and she was able to continue her story in The Mandalorian and prove how much she, like Ahsoka, has grown since then.